Pleasure to introduce to you Anita Miller. Anita is the artist and creator of the Lima company Marriot. She learned to draw and paint after her children were born when she was a stay-at-home mom, eventually teaching landscape and portrait painting in her studio, and then in workshops across Europe and the United States. In addition to painting, she now uses her gift of healing through visualization in full-time private practice as a medical support hypnotherapist. Please join me in welcoming Anita Miller.
These are the eyes of freedom, painted to honor service and sacrifice. These are the men of Lima who fought and died together in Iraq, who now stand as silent witnesses. Their eyes reflect the thousands of men who offer their lives in service to our nation. Their gift is personal. We give thanks to our armed forces and their families who quietly sacrifice to support that gift every day.
You're probably wondering, what does an artist have to do with football anyway? Every one of us here has a story. And the seed of that story began possibly when you were just a little kid. Maybe it was the first time you played Pee-wee football. Or maybe it was the first time somebody handed you an instrument and you had the thrill of their first notes coming out. I'm not sure what it was that brought you to this moment. Maybe it was some planes crashing into some towers for the military or for the Gold Star families. But I'd like to tell you the seed of my story. In 2005, it was a beautiful summer day, and I stumbled downstairs with my dog to pour myself a cup of coffee, read my morning newspaper. And at that moment, I saw 16 faces across the front of the Columbus Dispatch there in Ohio. Those were the faces of the men that were killed in Iraq the day before. They were the men of Lima Company. And at that moment, everything stopped. And all I could think of was, what were those families feeling at that moment? What about the men that served with them? What was happening in all of their lives? As I was sitting there drinking coffee, they were certainly not drinking coffee, because their lives were turned upside down. And my heart cried open. I wanted to do something to help, but I couldn't think of anything. And then the dog barked, and the phone rang, and I went on to finish my day, and I kind of went about the rest of my life. And then 2 months later, I woke up in the middle of the night with a vision that was planted right in the front of my face. And I saw 8 paintings standing in a circle in an octagon in the Ohio State House Rotunda. And on the front of those paintings were life-size portraits of the men of Lima Company, encircled with their boots and a candle for each man. And I saw men and women walking in and around those paintings, looking at the paintings, leaving flowers, leaving notes, and healing through the experience. And I thought, how cool is that? And then I thought, oh no, I kind of got this feeling that I was being the one asked to create it. And my first response was, oh no, not me. That's too big. I don't have the resources, I don't have the time, I don't have the connections, I don't have the money, I don't have the space, I don't have the talent, I couldn't do that, I couldn't do that, I couldn't do that! And I heard a little voice I drew it, I was hooked. And I knew that it was my job to create the Lima Company Memorial. And as I would paint, I would take the photographs of the men, and I would look into their eyes, and I would try to get myself as still and quiet as I could. And then I would try to feel them coming through me. And feelings poured up from inside of me. Feelings so beautiful of love and of kindness, of generosity, of dedication. Passion for their country. And these feelings poured up and through my arms and out through the paint, and their faces just tumbled out of the paintbrush. And when I would paint the backgrounds, I would ask them to show me the environment that they were in. And on the red painting, it was chaos, and it was fear and frustration and confusion and noise, and it was not fun. But on Wimberg's painting, it was light, and it was bliss. I saw these paintings in the Ohio State House, and then I saw all of the paintings being picked up and moved, and I knew it was a traveling memorial. But once the paintings were completed, just recently, they began to travel throughout the country, and because R&L thought that it was an important thing to give gratitude for those who have given their lives in service, they stepped up and said, we want to help and we want to be a part of that. And I want to thank R&L for doing that for us. So here's where our seeds of our stories all begin to intersect and weave together like a beautiful vine. You know, the men in the paintings were all like you guys and women. They were young, late teens, early 20s, and they were living their passion. Bill Erdy talks about Nick, and he said he was living his dream, fighting for his country. And tomorrow night, you all will be living your dream, playing in the Super Bowl. How cool is that? That's a dream! Heck, it's a dream I get to watch. But tomorrow night when you play, your cheering section is just not going to be the Superdome, and it's not just going to be the homes across the United States. It's going to be in bases all across the world. And it's going to be in Afghanistan, it's going to be in Iraq. And there's going to be men and women that are coming back from battle after a long day. And they're going to sit there. And you're going to bring them home. College football is a uniquely American story. It weaves the sights and sounds and smells and feelings of home. So when you play tomorrow night, you're bringing people together from all sides of the world. And you might bring a moment of joy and solace, a moment of peace to a very hot and dusty place. When you play tomorrow night, whether you're playing an instrument or where you're playing on the field, you're lifting our troops out of the war zone, and you're bringing them home. You know, we're all just family, and we're all trying to take care of each other the best we can, and I did it through paint. You all are doing it through football. And I wonder what it would feel like tomorrow night if when you're playing with your instruments or you're playing on the field, if you did what I did, if you looked into the faces of those men, and if for a moment you allowed their heart, their passion, their dedication, their love, their aching, their pain, their joy to play through you, what if you allowed them to run through you, hit through you, and be victorious through you? What if you felt their power roar through you on that field? Men and women are giving their lives and fighting for you and for me every day. Tomorrow night, it's your chance to fight for them. Play well.
It seems to me that this would be a very appropriate time to recognize the members of our armed forces who are here with us today, to have them stand, and for us to give them a very rousing round of appreciation.